God's chosen ones. God is warning you, a billionaire shift is happening. Pay attention now. Prayer for money. Chosen one, listen closely. This moment was written in heaven's book long before you took your first breath. You didn't stumble here by accident. The Spirit of God has drawn you because the divine wind of change, the billionaire shift, is already stirring. But hear me well, this isn't about greed or material obsession. This is a sacred transfer of purpose, of provision, of destiny. God is warning you to stay awake, for what He is about to release will not only lift you higher, but also awaken everyone and everything connected to your calling. This season is holy ground. As it is written in Deuteronomy 8, verse 18, it is He who gives you the power to get wealth. That divine power is awakening inside you right now. Chosen one, let your heart be still and your faith arise, because this is your appointed time. You are standing on the edge of a miracle. The heavens are moving on your behalf. Every delay, every rejection, every silent prayer for breakthrough, none of it was wasted. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared. God was shaping your character to handle the abundance He is about to pour out. The billionaire shift is not about luxury, it's about legacy. This is a spiritual financial prayer moment where heaven aligns your purpose with divine resources. You see, when you prayed those long nights, asking for provision, heaven heard you. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. The drought is over. The atmosphere around your life is rich with favor. Right now, chosen one, doors that once refused to open are about to swing wide. Opportunities will meet you in places you least expect. But remember this, God's blessings are often disguised as small beginnings. So pay attention to divine whispers, inspired ideas, and quiet nudges of the Spirit. They carry your next breakthrough. This is not the time to strive, but to align. You've learned the power of patience, and that patience has become your prophecy. Your obedience has positioned you for overflow. I've been where you are, on the edge of giving up, and just when I thought heaven was silent, God moved suddenly. One conversation, one connection, one divine moment turned everything around. That same sudden favor is coming for you. Chosen one. The same God who lifted Joseph from the pit to the palace is moving in your story right now. When people see your rise, your testimony will be simple and powerful. God did it. This prayer for money season isn't about chasing wealth. It's about becoming a vessel of provision, purpose, and peace for generations to come. The angels have already gone ahead of you. Heaven is declaring, enough delay, enough doubt. It's time. Take a breath, chosen one. Feel that fire within you. That's heaven's confirmation. You are stepping into divine flow, where miracles align with your every step, and favor becomes your portion forevermore. Chosen one. This quiet season you've been walking through wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. Heaven has been working behind the scenes, aligning every detail of your story while you thought nothing was happening. That silence you felt, it wasn't God ignoring you. It was God strategizing for you. Every delay, every closed door, every heartbreak wasn't rejection, it was redirection. You asked, why is it taking so long? But God was never late. He was teaching you how to walk by faith, not by sight, showing you that real strength grows in unseen places. Those times when your finances were tight and you didn't know how things would work out were not to break you, but to teach you prayer for finances, to attract money through faith, not fear. I remember going through that same valley, praying, fasting, waiting, but nothing seemed to move. I cried out to God, thinking He had forgotten me. But later, I saw it clearly. He was protecting me from things I wasn't ready for. He hid me to build me. What comes too soon often crumbles too fast, and God loved me too much to let that happen. Maybe you've been feeling that same stillness, like heaven went silent. But chosen one, silence is the sound of construction. God is shaping your capacity for abundance so that when the blessing comes, you can handle it without losing your humility. Those lonely nights built your endurance. Those quiet prayers built your authority. You learned to trust when all you had left was faith. That's why you're stepping into a billionaire shift. Not by luck, not by chance, but by divine appointment. God is raising kingdom builders, spiritual investors, people who will use their blessings to bless others. You've proven your heart can handle heaven's wealth, and that's why you're being positioned for overflow. So, let me ask you, are you ready to carry what you prayed for? Are you ready to let God's plan unfold, even if it looks different than what you imagined? Remember this: every hidden season was your training ground. Every unanswered prayer was setting up your breakthrough. Keep your heart steady. Keep your prayer for finances strong, and continue to attract money through gratitude, generosity, and faith. The lesson here is simple. God doesn't waste pain. He prepares promise. You are not waiting anymore. You are walking into your divine release. Beloved chosen one, can you feel it in your spirit? That stirring deep within your heart that whispers something is changing, God is moving. And if you listen closely, you'll hear His gentle call guiding you toward something greater. These dreams that won't leave you, these moments of peace that suddenly wash over you, they're not random. They're divine coordinates, mapping your path to destiny. Have you ever wondered why certain doors open just when you least expect them? That's not luck. That's heaven signaling that your time has come. Don't overlook the small beginnings, because even the grandest miracles often walk in quietly. Remember what the scripture says: do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. Zechariah 4, verse 10. God delights in your faithfulness. In every moment you chose trust over fear, prayer over panic, hope over doubt. Now, let's talk about this billionaire shift. And no, it's not just about money, it's about mission. It's not something you chase or earn, it's something you receive through alignment and faith. When God releases abundance, it's not to inflate your ego, but to expand your purpose. Are you ready to say yes to the unfamiliar, yes to the acceleration, yes to the divine opportunities He's placing before you? This is your moment to stop questioning if you're ready and start believing that God has already equipped you. He's been shaping you in silence, refining you through every challenge. And now that silence has served its purpose, the preparation season is ending, and a new chapter of visibility begins. Can you sense it? The atmosphere around you is shifting, because heaven's timing is now. Chosen one, the Spirit is declaring it's time to rise. You've walked through fire and survived. You've stood faithful when no one applauded. That was your training ground. Every delay was a setup for divine promotion. Every no was God's redirection towards a greater yes. You've outgrown the small version of yourself that once doubted your worth. The version that feared success no longer fits the person God has molded in secret. So why keep thinking small when your Creator has already enlarged your territory? This billionaire shift is not simply about receiving money. It's about carrying responsibility, wisdom, and purpose. Money prayer is not about asking for riches alone, but about aligning your heart with heaven's assignment to become a vessel of blessing, a channel through which God can impact generations. My friend, let this truth settle in your soul. You are not waiting for validation anymore. You are walking in confirmation. The same power that raised Christ from the dead now lives in you. as it says in Philippians 4, verse 19. And my God shall supply all your needs according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. So lift your head, chosen one. Breathe deeply and step boldly into this divine moment. The release has begun, and heaven is waiting for your yes. Will you walk in it with authority, knowing this shift is not about possession, but about purpose, not about money, but about mission, impact, and faith fulfilled? I know what it feels like to sense that promotion before you see it. I remember when my environment began to shift. Friends drifted, old interests faded, and my hunger for something higher grew unbearable. That's when God whispered, "I'm not changing your surroundings, I'm changing your assignment." That was the moment my spirit awakened. I believe this is that moment for you. Chosen one. It's time to rise into divine confidence. You're not built for survival anymore. You're built for strategy. Speak from victory, not from fear. Think like a ruler, not a beggar. Your ideas are not random. They're blueprints from heaven waiting for your obedience. Write them, plan them, act on them. What you create in this season will outlive you. Don't let fear disguise itself as caution. Don't mistake humility for hesitation. You can be both gentle and powerful, both grateful and ambitious. The same God who planted this dream in your spirit has already arranged the provision to fulfill it. Remember, provision always follows purpose. Anointed one, the realm has shifted. The words you speak now carry divine weight. When you declare abundance, the atmosphere responds. When you decree healing, creation aligns. Your voice is no longer just sound, it's command. Heaven and earth are tuned to your frequency. This isn't fantasy, it's fulfillment. You are the living proof that faith still works. The waiting was your preparation. The breakthrough is your unveiling. You've evolved, matured, and awakened into purpose. So rise, chosen one. Walk into your billionaire shift with boldness. You're no longer asking for permission. You're walking in authority. The doors aren't just open, they've been waiting for you. The alignment is complete. The activation has begun. The world is about to witness what heaven already declared. You were chosen for this. Chosen one. Now that you've stepped fully into your divine authority, it's time to understand how heaven brings its promises into reality. Miracles don't just appear out of nowhere. They are born when faith, obedience, and divine order move together. When your thoughts, your words, and your actions align with God's frequency, the natural world begins to respond. Heaven doesn't move randomly. It manifests through those who are aligned. Anointed one. This billionaire shift doesn't begin in your wallet. It begins in your mind. The true wealth transfer happens when your belief system expands to match heaven's vision for you. As long as you see yourself as limited, you will unconsciously block the unlimited. That's why God has been stretching you, pruning you, removing distractions, and people who no longer fit your next season. It's not punishment, it's preparation. You've outgrown old thinking, and heaven is making space for a greater version of you. I've felt that friction myself, the discomfort of growing beyond what once felt safe. I used to think small dreams honored God, but I was wrong. True humility isn't thinking less of yourself. It's agreeing with how God already sees you. When I finally stopped doubting my worth and started believing I was chosen, everything accelerated. That same shift in perspective is happening for you right now. Heaven is testing your readiness by expanding your capacity to believe. Chosen one, your words carry creative power. Every sentence you speak becomes a seed that shapes your future. Speak from victory, not from fear. When you declare faith, heaven begins to build. When you confess doubt, the flow slows. That's why the enemy tries to silence you. Because your voice carries divine authority. Speak life. Speak light. Speak as one who knows the outcome is already written in your favor. This billionaire shift is not merely financial, it's spiritual stewardship. God's economy thrives on circulation. What you release multiplies. The open hand always receives more than the closed one. Heaven isn't looking for perfection, it's looking for faithfulness. God saw you give when it hurt, believe when it made no sense, and stay kind when others mocked you. None of that was wasted. Every moment of quiet obedience was a deposit in heaven's ledger. And now the withdrawal season has come. Anointed one, pay attention to the signs, the divine synchronicities, the right call at the perfect moment, the doors opening that logic can't explain. These are heaven's fingerprints confirming your alignment. Don't question them. Flow with them. You've stepped into a divine season where what once felt heavy now flows with ease, where what you used to chase begins to chase you. This is not just a season of blessings, it's a calling into divine alignment. You are not striving anymore. You are stewarding what God has placed in your hands. You are not waiting for miracles. They've been waiting for you to rise up, to believe boldly, to act faithfully, and to rest in the truth that heaven is already moving on your behalf. Have you felt that quiet stirring in your spirit? That sense that something big is unfolding, even when you can't see it yet? That's God whispering to your soul. Be still. I'm working, as it is written. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Every delay, every redirection, every unexpected turn, none of it has been a coincidence. Heaven has been weaving a perfect plan in the unseen realm while you've been holding on in faith. You thought you were standing still, but God was preparing you for movement. You thought you were waiting, but heaven was building your foundation. When you prayed those quiet prayers in the dark, when you sowed seeds of hope despite the odds, you were writing the blueprint for the miracle that's about to unfold. Can you feel that divine acceleration? That's not anxiety. That's destiny calling. The billionaire shift you've heard about isn't just about money. It's about your mindset, your heart posture, your willingness to see abundance as God sees it. True money prayer begins not with the asking, but with gratitude. Not with fear, but with faith that God already intends to bless you. You see, God never gives you overflow until you're ready to carry it. That's why He's been stretching you, pruning your relationships, pulling you out of comfort zones, and closing doors that no longer align with your calling. What felt like loss was actually preparation. Every closed door was protection, not punishment. Every subtraction was divine multiplication in disguise. I've lived through that silence, the loneliness, the waiting, the wondering if heaven still heard me. But I learned something in that stillness. When you stop striving and start trusting, things begin to move faster than you ever imagined. Maybe that's what God is saying to you right now. Stop chasing, start aligning, and let my blessings find you. Your words carry power. Chosen one. What are you speaking over your life today? Are you declaring lack or abundance, fear or faith? Remember, heaven responds to sound, and your voice carries the vibration of creation. When you speak life, life multiplies. When you speak fear, fear echoes back. That's why you must speak with the authority God has already given you. As the word says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. The enemy never wanted to take your blessings. He wanted to silence your voice. But that silence ends right now. Speak with confidence. You are not begging for blessings. You are walking in the promises heaven already decreed. You are not waiting for permission. You carry divine mandate. Every time you give, every time you trust, every act of faith becomes currency in heaven's economy, circulating, multiplying, returning in greater measure than you gave. So, let this truth sink deep. You are not chasing favor anymore. Favor is chasing you. The same God who tested your patience in seasons of lack now trusts you to steward abundance with grace. This is your moment to rise, to speak, to receive, and to believe that the shift is not coming. It's already here. What will you do with it? Will you stand in fear? Or will you step into faith and watch God's plan unfold before your eyes? The choice is yours. Chosen one, and heaven is waiting for your yes. Chosen one, this is your season of divine flow, your moment when heaven's rhythm begins to move in perfect harmony with your faith. You no longer have to strive or struggle, for when you align with God's timing, everything begins to unfold with grace. You will speak, and heaven will respond. You will take one step, and doors that were once sealed will swing open before you. Even in your stillness, miracles will locate you. Believe boldly, give freely, and walk with confidence. For as it is written in Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. This is the divine shift, the unseen hand of God turning your waiting into winning, your delay into destiny. The world will soon witness the light of his glory shining through you. Chosen one, the season you are stepping into is extraordinary. It carries the rhythm of acceleration, the divine pulse of timing catching up with your prayers. What once crawled will now run. Those doors that resisted you for years will open, not because you changed direction, but because heaven changed the clock. You are no longer walking in waiting. You are walking in fulfillment. This is not about rushing, but about divine synchronization. Heaven's perfect order manifesting in your life. God is redeeming the years that felt wasted, turning pain into purpose and silence into setup. Every detour you faced was direction in disguise. You were never behind. You were being positioned for divine launch. When you stay faithful, when you keep praying your financial prayer, God aligns everything for your good. And now, chosen one, you will begin to see evidence everywhere, opportunities multiplying, forgotten dreams reviving, and your name being remembered in rooms you've never entered. Projects that once drained you will now flow effortlessly, because when divine momentum takes over, effort bows to faith. You have graduated from survival into supernatural flow. I've walked this path. I remember the morning everything shifted after years of stagnation. Provision, purpose, and peace came rushing in. It wasn't luck, it was the harvest of endurance. Heaven always rewards those who do not give up. Those who whisper a quiet prayer for money or a simple financial prayer in the midnight hour and still choose to trust. But here this truth acceleration exposes both opportunity and distraction. Not every open door is divine. Some are detours wrapped in disguise. The sign of a true door from God is peace. If it demands you to compromise who you are, it's not from Him. When the door is yours, it will not steal your rest. It will confirm your faith. Philippians 4:7 reminds us, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus." So walk boldly into this season. Chosen one. The billionaire shift of blessing is happening, and those who trust God, stay faithful in prayer, and listen for divine peace will rise. Stand tall, for you are not chasing favor. Favor is chasing you. Chosen one. God is expanding your capacity, not just to receive blessings, but to carry them with strength and wisdom. You're being prepared to handle more than you ever thought possible, to think with greater clarity, to move with boldness, and to pray with a deeper power that shakes the heavens. Heaven is no longer testing your faith. It's trusting your maturity. Everything you've endured wasn't for nothing. Every tear, every waiting season, every silent night was a refining fire shaping your spirit for this moment. As your blessings begin to multiply, remember this truth: gratitude is your anchor. Gratitude keeps your heart balanced when overflow comes. Every thank you keeps the oil flowing. Every act of kindness, every moment you give, even when it's hard, keeps the river of abundance alive. This acceleration is not a competition, it's completion. You are not racing against others. You are stepping into what God always intended for you. The waiting built endurance. But now it's time for evidence. People will soon look at your life and say, "Surely, the hand of God is upon them." This is your Kairos moment, your appointed time. You are walking into the visible proof of everything heaven promised. The struggle prepared you, the silence purified you, and now grace will carry you faster than effort ever could. Walk boldly, move with divine rhythm, and never doubt that the favor on your life will soon be undeniable. And as this divine acceleration unfolds, understand something sacred: your abundance is not by accident, and it's not for you alone. God did not bring you through hardship just to fill your hands. He was expanding your capacity to carry His heart. This billionaire shift that's happening all around is not about greed, luxury, or fame. It's a divine shift of purpose. Heaven is positioning you as a vessel, a channel through which blessings, healing, and hope can flow to others. You are being entrusted with heavenly resources to fulfill earthly assignments. Remember, divine wealth comes with divine weight. God is not blessing you because you demanded more, but because you proved faithful with little. The overflow coming your way will test your heart more deeply than your skill ever could. So I ask you, will you stay humble when abundance surrounds you? Will you remain generous when comfort tempts you to close your hand? True kingdom stewardship means carrying power without pride, leading with compassion, and serving even when success is shining on you. You've already proven yourself faithful when no one was watching. You gave when it hurt. You stayed kind when misunderstood, and you believed when there was no visible proof. Heaven saw it all, and now the reward is being released. What's about to come is not random provision. It's a divine assignment. God is funding your purpose, not your pride. I remember when my own breakthrough came. I thought the miracle was the end, but God showed me it was only the beginning. When I finally gave from a place of overflow, not fear, I felt His presence like never before. That's when I learned a sacred truth. Generosity multiplies anointing. When you give with a pure heart, the oil flows stronger, freer, and reaches farther. So, chosen one, this is your moment to rise, to pray with conviction, and to align your heart with heaven's rhythm. Keep your prayer for finances sincere, because it's not about chasing money, but about allowing God to use you as a light in this billionaire shift. Let your heart attract money through purpose, faith, and gratitude. The more you thank Him, the more heaven releases. The more you give, the more you grow. God is not done. He's just beginning to show what happens when a faithful heart meets divine opportunity. Stay humble in success. Keep gratitude as your anchor. Use wealth as a tool, not a trophy. Let your prayer for finances come from a place of service. When you attract money with the right heart, you don't just live in abundance, you live in assignment. This chosen one is your season of divine completion and undeniable favor. Chosen one, something divine is awakening inside you, and it's not by accident. God is calling you to rise, to prepare for a new circle of destiny where divine connections and heavenly opportunities await. This isn't just another season, it's a sacred realignment where God places around you people of faith, integrity, and vision who will lift you higher. You might ask yourself, why now, why me? Because God has chosen you for a purpose greater than your current understanding. He's bringing you into alignment with His plan, and every relationship He sends your way is part of that plan. Guard them carefully, because they're not coincidences. They're heaven's reinforcements sent to help you walk in your divine calling. But remember, as your influence grows, so does the testing. Can you stay humble when the blessings overflow? Can you still keep your altar sacred, even when your table is full? You see, the true test of prosperity isn't how much money you have. It's how close you remain to God while you have it. The enemy will whisper that your worth lies in status, image, or success. But don't listen. True wealth is alignment with heaven's purpose. As it is written, "What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul?" Matthew 16:26. Chosen one. This season is your commissioning. God is calling you to be a kingdom financier, not just a receiver of blessings, but a distributor of miracles. Imagine being the one who funds visions, supports ministries, and uplifts generations through your obedience. Every seed you sow, every prayer you speak, every act of generosity echoes through eternity. That's not just a money prayer. It's a divine partnership between heaven and your heart. I want to ask you, are you ready to step into that realm where favor speaks for you, where your success becomes a testimony, not of luck, but of obedience? I've been in that place myself, where I thought I needed to strive for recognition, to perform for approval. But God whispered, "You were already appointed." And when I surrendered to that truth, everything changed. Peace replaced fear, provision flowed naturally. It wasn't about chasing money anymore, it was about walking in divine flow. This is where you are now. You're stepping into a billionaire shift, not just financial but spiritual. It's a transformation where heaven upgrades your mindset, refines your spirit, and teaches you that wealth isn't in possessions but in purpose. Something powerful is happening within you. You're no longer begging for breakthrough. You've become the vessel through which breakthrough flows. That's what happens when you align with divine will. Heaven begins to move through your yes. The voice of fear quiets, the fog of comparison lifts, and suddenly, you recognize who sent you. You walk with quiet authority, not arrogance, because you finally know whose you are. This is your awakening. God has changed the frequency of your heart. What once attracted resistance now draws revelation. The same hands that once reached out in desperation now release power and blessing. You no longer chase outcomes. You command alignment through prayer, faith, and trust. So I ask you, chosen one, will you let God's power flow through you in this new era of abundance? Will you dare to believe that your money, your influence, and your obedience can transform lives? For it is written, "The blessing of the Lord makes one rich, and He adds no sorrow with it." Proverbs 10:22. You are stepping into that truth right now. This billionaire shift isn't just about what's in your bank account. It's about what's awakening in your spirit. You are the evidence of prophecy fulfilled, the living testimony that faith and obedience create miracles. Remember, it wasn't luck. It was never coincidence. It was God's divine design. And now, it's your time to walk in it. Chosen one, this is your Kairos moment, the sacred intersection of heaven's timing and your obedience. The billionaire shift is no longer a prophecy waiting to happen. It's a reality unfolding in this very breath. The angels have already been dispatched, the resources already released, the pathways already cleared. You are standing in divine alignment, the exact place where destiny meets manifestation. Anointed one, walk in quiet confidence, knowing that God has sealed this season with His favor. The same hand that carried you through the valley is now positioning you on the mountaintop. You've passed the tests. You've endured the refining. And now the overflow begins. Every seed you've sown in tears is returning multiplied in joy. This is not the end. It's the unveiling of everything heaven prepared while you waited in faith. Lift your head, chosen one. Stand tall in your calling. Speak abundance over your life, not as a wish, but as a decree. What you speak now will shape the seasons ahead. Remain faithful, stay pure in heart, and let gratitude be your constant language. If this word resonated in your spirit, declare 777 in the comments to align your faith with heaven's confirmation. Subscribe and share this message so others may awaken to their own divine transfer. The doors are open, the oil is flowing, the shift is happening now. Go forth, anointed one. Heaven is with you.